You finally get an afternoon to yourself. Nobody needs a lift, nobody's calling with a problem, nothing's due before tomorrow, you can do whatever you want. And that's exactly when your mind goes blank. You open the fridge, though you're not hungry, check your phone, walk into another room, and forget why. Then somehow, you start cleaning something you don't even want to clean. Because doing something useful feels easier than choosing something for yourself. If you were born between 1976 and 1985, you know this feeling well. You can tell everyone else what needs to happen next. Solve problems, make sensible decisions under pressure. But ask yourself one simple question, and everything gets strangely quiet. What do you actually want? Not what should you do, not what can you afford, not what would make life easier for everyone else. What do you want? Here's the thing nobody tells you about turning 40-something. It's not that you forgot how to choose, it's that somewhere along the way, you stopped getting asked what you wanted, and the part of you that used to know just went quiet. Let's be clear about what this is, because it's not indecision. Indecision is having two good options and picking one. That's normal. What's happening here is you reach for a preference, and there's nothing to grab. Not two options fighting for first place. An empty shelf. Indecision means the wanting is intact and the choosing is hard. This is the wanting itself gone quiet. When that shelf is empty, it's tempting to fill it with someone else's answer. Scroll for 10 minutes and you'll find 100 people's clearly stated wants, their trip, their new hobby, and it's tempting to just borrow one. But borrowed wants don't fill the gap. They just postpone the question. So where does this actually start? Earlier than you'd think. There's a researcher named James Marcia who studied how people build identity. He found something most people never hear about. A lot of us don't actually choose our path. We commit to it without ever really shopping around. He called it identity foreclosure. You land on a career, a relationship shape, a whole personality based on what was expected of you, or what was available, or what your parents modeled, not because you explored 10 options and picked the best one. Because option 1 showed up first, and there was never time to look for a second. Think about how fast the decisions came. A major in your late teens, a job in your early 20s, a relationship that turned serious because it was going well, not because you'd asked if it was right. Each one felt like a choice. Stacked together, they were more like a hallway, with doors closing behind you. And for a while, that works completely fine. Foreclosure doesn't feel like anything at the time. It feels like a personality. You liked that job because it was yours. You wanted that house because you were supposed to. Nobody's checking the receipts. But Marcia's research also found something else. Foreclosure tends to crack open later, usually at a transition, a move, a layoff, kids getting older, or turning 45. Suddenly, the life you built starts asking a question you were never asked the first time. Did you actually want this? Or did you just never get around to saying no to it? A lot of people your age are sitting inside that question right now, without knowing that's what they're sitting inside. Now here's the part that gets genuinely interesting, because this isn't just a mindset thing. There's a real, physical reason your want signal can go quiet. Kent Berridge, a researcher at the University of Michigan, discovered something wild. Wanting and liking are two completely separate systems in your brain. Different circuitry, different chemistry. Liking is the part that enjoys something once you have it. Wanting is the part that points at something before you have it and says, go get that. Berridge's research shows you can lose the volume on the wanting system while the liking system stays completely fine. You can still enjoy a good meal or a good weekend away. You just stop having anything pointing you toward one option over another before you get there. The GPS breaks. The destination still tastes fine once you arrive there by accident. That's not laziness. It's not a character flaw. It's a specific, nameable thing. A motivation system that's gone quiet from disuse. So why doesn't achieving things fix it? You hit goals. You still feel nothing at the finish line. Psychologists Ken Sheldon and Andrew Elliott studied exactly this. They looked at self-concordance, whether a goal actually matches what you want or whether you're chasing it out of guilt or fear. Both can look identical from the outside. The effort's the same. The experience inside you isn't. When the goal was never really yours, hitting it produces almost nothing. They called it hollow attainment. You cross the line, and there's no feeling waiting for you there. Not because you didn't work hard enough, because the goal was borrowed the whole time, and borrowed goals don't pay out when you reach them. That's why the promotion didn't do it, why the house didn't do it, why the vacation you saved a year for felt halfway through exactly like every other week. You checked every box on the right list and still ended up standing in the kitchen at 9 p.m., successful on paper with absolutely nothing you're craving. Here's the part worth sitting with. None of this makes you broken. For a long time, wanting things you couldn't control or afford just hurt. So your brain did something smart. It quietly stopped generating want, because a want you can't act on is just disappointment on a delay. That's not weakness, that's protection. Your brain did exactly what it was built to do with the information it had. The problem is that protection doesn't come with an off switch. It just keeps running the same program, long after the reason for it is gone. You didn't wake up one morning and lose yourself. You spent years answering everything else first. Your life became one long response to family, deadlines, whatever came next. You know who you are at work, as a parent, as the one people call when they need something. But who are you when nobody needs anything? So if the want has gone quiet, don't force a 5-year plan out of it. That will just send you back to borrowing someone else's answer. Wanting is a muscle, and muscles don't come back from one big lift. They come back from small, low-stakes use. You may not need to discover your purpose. You may just need permission to experiment. Your real preferences show up as small clues, so start noticing them. Notice envy, the quick feeling when someone tells you they started making something with their hands. That's information. Notice relief, which canceled plans actually make your body relax. Notice curiosity, what you keep reading about when nobody assigned it. Notice the things you dismiss as silly, the book you keep meaning to write. A wish doesn't have to become a business plan before it deserves your attention. You've spent years asking whether a choice is sensible. Try a different question. Does this feel like me? Not forever, not as a commitment, just today. Order the thing on the menu you've never tried, for no reason at all. Pick the movie instead of asking what everyone else wants. Take the long way home once, for no reason, but that you wanted to drive it. Let yourself want something small enough that nobody's watching and nothing is at stake. Changing your mind isn't proof you never knew yourself. It might be proof you finally started listening. So no. You're not empty, not ungrateful, not failing at life because you can't immediately answer what you want next. You got extremely good at responding to what life demanded. That skill carried you through years of pressure. But response isn't the same as choice. Your wants didn't disappear. They were interrupted. They learned to speak quietly because louder voices always seemed more urgent. But they're still there. Maybe you don't need to blow up your life to hear them. Maybe you just need one afternoon where you don't ask what's useful. One small choice that belongs only to you. So tell me in the comments, what's one thing you want that has nothing to do with being useful? Not productive, not profitable, not for anyone else. Just yours. You might be surprised how long it's been since anyone asked, including you.